Hi everyone, Lisa's Movie Reviews. This is the fourth video for my most favorite fantasy movies. There'll be 5, so this is number 4. And my number 4 favorite fantasy film is Willow from 1988. Here's my DVD of it. On the inside, this little DVD. Now this movie was directed by Ron Howard. The story was by George Lucas. And the music was by James Horner. The cast is Warwick Davis. He plays Willow, Ufgood. Val Kilmer plays Madmartigan. Joanne Whalley plays Sorsha. Jean Marsh plays Queen Bavmorda. And Patricia plays Raziel. Now, let me see. I'm going to give you a small summary because I don't want to make this video long. When a prophecy states that a female child with a special birthmark will herald the downfall of the evil sorceress Queen Bavmorda, she imprisons all pregnant women in her realm to prevent its fulfillment. When the child is born, the mother begs the midwife to smuggle the infant to safety. The midwife reluctantly accepts and leaves Nockmaar Castle unnoticed. The mother is executed, the midwife is hunted down, and eventually found. Knowing she cannot escape, the midwife sets the baby on a makeshift raft of grass and sends her down a river. The baby drifts downriver to a village of Nelwyns, which are dwarves, and comes into the care of Willow Ufgood, the title character who Warwick Davis plays. The next day, the village is attacked by a lone Nockmaar hound. After the village warriors kill it, they deduce it was after a baby. Willow reveals the baby to the High Aldwin, the village sorcerer, who declares the child is special and that she must be taken back to the Daikines, or the humans. And the story is about Willow trying to get the baby, Elora Danan, to a certain place called, I think it's called Tirisleen, that she will be safe there. And on his quest, it starts with him and his fellow dwarves, and they all, well, Nelwyns, they all leave because they don't want to be there, they're scared, so he's left by himself, and he's got to deal with humans that could care less about a baby, and also being hunted down by Queen Bavmorda's forces, and there's trolls, and there's weird, what was that two-headed thing? I don't know what that thing was in the movie. Idiot. What was that called? It was gross as hell. Let me see. I have a little summary here, so I didn't want to forget anything. I haven't seen this movie in quite a bit, but it's one of my favorites. What in the hell was that called? Fire-breathing, two-headed, dragon-like monster. That's what it's described. I guess that'll do it. That's exactly what it looked like. I don't know what the hell that damn thing was. That was definitely a creepy moment for me as a kid watching it. I was like, oh. It wasn't like scary, but it was just like, God, that's gross. One of my favorite things about the movie is it had a great soundtrack. The track Elora Danan by itself is great. I have not been able to get my hands on this soundtrack. It had great visual effects. Nothing really special, nothing really fancy. But at the time, 1988, it wasn't bad. Warwick Davis was only 17 playing Willow Ufgood in this movie. He was only 17. I had no idea about that until maybe a couple years ago. And I definitely couldn't tell. He was the standout for me. You know, this is one of the first movie roles I ever saw Val Kilmer in was Willow. And he was great as Madmartigan. I mean, he was pretty funny. He was charming. He had a lot of bravado. They tried to make it a little romantic with him and Sorsha. I didn't really get into that, but I can see why. It worked. I mean, the actor, Val Kilmer and Joanne Whalley, eventually got married. Of course, they're divorced now, but they got married because of meeting on this movie. But Warwick Davis was definitely the standout for me. His performance was great. Some people don't agree. I think it was great. His devotion and love for Elora Danan, the baby, was the best thing about this movie, especially when everybody else could care less. Even his own people saying, well, just give her to the humans, and he's like, well, they'll kill her. Well, she's not one of us. What's the problem? What's the big deal? I mean, even the humans were like, we don't want nothing to do with a baby, and it's like, okay, so the smallest person in that whole world has more bravery than the tallest people, which would be the humans. And to me, it was just beautiful, you know, how much he loved her, and he wasn't going to stop until she was okay, until everything all the bad was gone, and he's the one, if you haven't seen this spoiler, and he's the one that defeats Bavmorda, and how he defeats her is just a little simple trick. A little simple magic trick of her thinking that he made her disappear into another realm, and Bavmorda just literally just sends her own self into a, what was it, evil nether realm or something. So that was pretty cool. I was like, yeah, because it didn't look like no one was going to defeat her because she was pretty powerful. And a little small little trick that he pulled defeated her, which shows that he probably was the only one that could defeat her to begin with. I give this movie a B+. I think some of the, what was it, I didn't write it down because I try to focus on the positive than the negative in films, and I don't know, but if this is one of my favorite movies, I can't say too much bad about it. If I did like a full movie review just about Willow, then I could get into the pros and cons of it, but right now, I'm not going to mention anything bad about it because there frankly isn't that much bad about it, so I give it a B+. I'd definitely check out Willow. It is a classic. It's one of the best fantasy movies ever made, and it's also just, my light's going to go off, is this one of the sweetest ones ever made, too, because it's about loving a child that's not your own, but because the child can't defend itself, someone's got to defend her, and might as well be Willow. Everyone looks down at him because he's so small, well, not just because he's so small, but because they don't really like Nelwyns and dwarves, but, you know, he's the one that had the bigger guts than anybody. So I would definitely check out Willow. If it's not your cup of tea, I'm sure there's tons of other great ones to watch. And maybe in my next videos, you can maybe choose one of those. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.